Alright, time to feed these hungry gamers. Alright, you know how I go. Oh, by the way, hello viewers, me again. Another beautiful day. Yup. Hope your five senses work, health and strength is good. Or, excellent. Alright, now, so Intel released another update. Listen to this. Intel released new graphics driver with optimization for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Alright. Says here, just a few days after releasing a new Whql driver with fixes for Minecraft Bedrock Edition, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Intel pushes another GPU driver, this time a non-Whql one. If you have a compatible Intel processor or graphics card, you can now download the driver 32.0.101.63/19 non-HQL, especially if you want to play Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Marvel Rivals, and Path of Exile. For release, AMD and NVIDIA already released their corresponding drivers, AMD and NVIDIA here. And then it says, let's see what we got here. It says here, gaming highlights, Intel Game On driver supports on Intel Arc A-series graphics CPU and Intel Core Ultra with built-in Intel Arc GPU. Says there, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Marvel Rivals, Path of Exile 2. This says Intel driver 32.0.101.63 does not fix any bugs, so the list of known issues remains the same. Says here, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 DirectX 12 may exhibit darker than expected shadows in certain campaign scenarios. Topaz AI may experience errors when exporting videos after using some models. Topaz Gigapixel AI may experience intermittent crash while exporting image. It says Intel Core Ultra Series 1 with built-in Intel Arc GPUs, Space Workstation may exhibit system instability while running certain workloads. A Bench DaVinci Resolve Studio version 9 may experience error intermittently with benchmark presets set to extended. DaVinci Resolve Studios version 19.0 may experience error while rendering OpenVINO test scenarios. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 DirectX 12 may exhibit flickering corruption during gameplay. It says Intel Core Ultra Series 2 with built-in Intel Arc GPU. Adobe Premiere Pro may exhibit corruption in the output video after performing AKAV encode. DaVinci Resolve Studio version 19 may experience issues while rendering certain OpenVINO test scenarios. DaVinci Resolve Studio version 19 may exhibit corruption while rendering certain AI workloads. And then Star Wars Outlaw DirectX 12 may experience sporadic crash during gameplay. It says Intel 32.0.101.63.19 non-HQL is available on Windows system with 64-bit Windows 10 and Windows 11 with the following graphics products from Intel. What do we got here? It's for the discrete GPUs. It's Intel Arc A-series Alchemist and Intel Iris XE discrete graphics DG1. Now for integrated GPUs, it's the Intel Core Ultra Series 2 Lunar Lake and Arrow Lake, and then for the Intel Core Ultra is Meteor Lake. Then Core 14th Gen is Raptor Lake Refresh, 13th Gen is Raptor Lake, 12th Gen is Adler Lake, and then 11th Gen is Tiger Lake. There, you guys are good. Now, video cards has something on this too. Let me get this while I'm at it. Let's see. Okay, nope, not you. Okay, here we go. No, not you. It must be this one. It says here, download the Intel Arc Graphics 32.0.101.63.19 beta. And so what we got here? Got Indiana Jones, Marvel Rival, Path of Exile. Yeah, you gamers are spoiled now. I think Marvel Rivals user base numbers is growing. It's up there. Let's see here. What else we got here? Okay, we talked about that. Talked about that. Oh, let me get this. It says here, package content, Intel graphics driver, Intel Media SDK runtime 21.0.101.35, Intel 1 VPL GPU runtime 21.0.2.13, Intel Graphics Compute runtime for OpenCL driver, Vulkan runtime, Intel Arc software and driver installer, and uninstall 1.0.993.6, then Intel, and then 1 API level 0 loader validation layer, Intel Graphics Compute runtime for 1 API level 0 specification, Intel Arc controlled installer 1.80.5684.2, and Intel driver support assistant. So you guys are good, you Intel users. And that's for the for driver compatibility is for the Arc Alchemist 770, 750, 580, 380, 310. That's for Alchemist. DG1 is Iris XE and XE Max. For mobile is a 770, 730, 570, 550, 530, 370, 350, and that's the Arc M series. And now for the integrated Core Ultra 200, that's Arrow Lake S, Core Ultra 200, Lunar Lake MX, Core Ultra 100, Meteor Lake H and Meteor Lake U. And 14th gen is Raptor Lake S refresh, and then Raptor Lake HX refresh. And then for the 13th gen is Lake S, Raptor Lake Lake S, Raptor Lake HS, H, P, and U. That's for Raptor Lake. Then for the 12th gen is for Adler Lake S, H, P, U, HX, and N. And then for 11th gen, it's for Tiger Lake and Rocket Lake. So yeah, you Intel users, you're good. Yeah, have fun with your updates. Yeah. We got 11 comments. Let's see what these actually 16. Then let's see. See, Luker said this doesn't have those new features coming with the B series yet. Acoustic said this Alchemist won't be getting frame gen. And then Luker says done on XMX cores. I've heard that it will since Alchemist DG Puss. I've some of those. Maybe you are thinking of some of the IG that lack those. He said regardless, native frame gen is limited to a few games at first, while XCSSL and the enhanced OC control also aren't. And let's see, who is this? Acoustics. And somebody say, yup, full XCSS2 needs XMX, but XCLL runs it all. Then Death said this, no frame gen on A series, question mark. Then Lex said this, nope, sorry. And then who's this? Ma said this guy isn't entirely right. Alchemist has XMX units in all discrete GPUs in Arrow Lake notebook. Alchemist has no XMX units in notebook iGPU and Lake GPUs. It definitely confusing how they mix different things together, and still disappointing that the latter ones don't support Intel frame gen when AMD frame gen works for both for them. And then who is this? Arv said this. Tech said this. Good news for some Intel GPUs. A70 is faster in 1080p with ray tracing than 3080 in new GPU punishing titles. Computer-based tests new games, and it clearly shows how great garbage 380 cards is after 4 years. As we know, 3080 has only 10 gigs of video RAM, and it gets pummeled in RT in 1080p already. In 1440p, 3080 competitor 680 XT shows clearer strength in ray tracing after 4 years due to the 16 gigs of video RAM. Anyone still saying that the amount of video RAM is not important is banging their head against solid wall. More titles will come out soon, and such as Dune and others, that will push 12 gig cards to their limits. Does this game clearly shows that 8 gig cards should die immediately? Is 12 gigs safe for one more generation as new games are becoming more complex? Well, look, when it comes to desktops, man, you have to upgrade, man. After what EA did with Star Wars when they said you need 32 gigs of RAM, man, that should have been a warning. You know, video RAM, you always got to step your game up. You can't. You have to. If you're sitting on, if last year you were using 12, then this year you should be using 24, you know, or even 32. When it comes to desktop, you just have to step your game up. Okay. He said, so it's who is this? Gree said this. S. Gree said this. Anyone also notice the computer base never published Alchemist data for higher resolution than 1080p/1440p? In that game, the 3080 is clearly worse than A70. Yet computer base including 3080 in the UWQHD, while the A70 was left out. Again, it's almost like they want to hide the best results for Alchemist. Does it hurt so much to bench the A70 in all resolution? And it says apparently computer base deemed Alchemist having a full display for its compatible, and it's forever branded as a terrible card, in which is no justice. It says Alchemist scales very well high in resolution because most of the time the shaders aren't properly saturated in lower resolution. In benching 1080p with Alchemist exclusively shows the worst possible performance for the architecture, and buying Alchemist for 1080p is the worst you can do. You are much better off running at 1440p/4K. It's a budget high resolution card, not a 1080p entry level card. And then the text said this: dude, you are missing the point. A70 was never a 4K or 3440p card. P meaning pixel. It says 3080 was, but its miserable 10 gigs of video RAM aged terribly. That's all in 3440p. You might get 25 and 28 FPS from A70. And then it says and go to sleep calmly. Then Agreed said this: the A70 relative performance is the best in 4K and worse in 1080p, which makes it higher resolution card by nature. Other cards that lacks the shader grunt memory bandwidth get weaker in 4K, like 4060 and 7600 XT. If you buy Alchemist for 1080p, you are doing it wrong. You get way more out of it with high resolution than reduced details. Yeah, these dudes know their stuff, man. They know their stuff. Anyway, who is this? Then text says relative performance of A70 770 for 4K is meaningless idea. Will you stop this copium of 4K brainwashing yourself on us here? It says TPU tested in 4K. You can enjoy a few games in 4K at 4K 60. Other cards in its class, 4060 and 4060, are literally FPS slower than all three cards are a non-starter for 4K. Look, man, when it comes to these graphics cards, you got to upgrade, man. This is who is this? S. Gree said this: the average performance delta TPU between an A70 and a 7600 XT shrinks by 30% in 1080p to 8% in 4K. Says the 7600 XT is faster in 1080p and 10% slower in 4K. You can hate Alchemist all day long. It doesn't change the fact that Alchemist scale very well in high resolution, making it way better option for budget high resolution use case instead of 1080p, which is factually the worst performance user case for Alchemist. Marketing does change the product. I assume you were beyond that. Who was this? Text said this: it's not a native 4K card in the first case. Forget about it. Percentage are meaningless when you convert it into FPS. Sure, you could try to enjoy CP at 26 FPS. Upscaling from 1080p to 4K is going to be way more playable experience. Alchemist does not scale well into native 4K resolution. Wait a minute. So I'm almost done here too. Almost done here. In 4K resolution, you need a strong coffee today. And then Luker said this. I find that bothersome. I find that bothersome, since I have a 3080, which wasn't easy to find at even remotely reasonable price for like a year, and Radeon was the same. Looks like I just have to avoid ray tracing in that game, unless Intel comes out with a B770 sometime soon. I can replace my 3080 with. Who was this? Let's see. Tech said this. Sorry to hear that. The lesson is never again buy NVIDIA cards with less than 16 gigs of video RAM. Facts. From class 70, and don't even look into 5080 with 16 gigs. The amount of video RAM on offer is atrociously shameful. Everybody needs to learn that and call them out. And then Marco said this. Only fake news. 8 TV is fine. Is even in this game if you use your brain in the configuration. And then Tech said this. 8K TV, okay. Anyway, that's the end of that. So yeah, you learned a lot in the comment section, man. And these guys shared their these guys in the comment section. They share their experience and expertise, you know, when it comes to using these cards, man. And it's a warning, and it's a warning to the user, to a user who's thinking about getting a graphics card. Like they said in the comment section, when it comes to NVIDIA, never use an NVIDIA card that has 16 gigs of video RAM. So that's a warning, man. So yeah, these guys are sharing their comments. But other than that, you guys are you Intel fans are good. When I was laughing, when I called the word out, I didn't realize. I'm like, oh, that's what he meant to say. That's why I started laughing. I'm like, oh, that's what he. One of the commenters said something in the comment. I started laughing. I'm like, that's what he meant to say. I'm like, oh, okay. So next time I see that word again, I won't read it. I'll skip over it. But anyway, other than that, man, you Intel fans, you're good though. News, deals, games, update, the usual. And I'll keep you guys in the loop. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Crystal, Star Wars, Star Trek 9, Board, Dark Side. Go. Peace.